is bring all the like terms together. So I'm just going to write this as, whoops, 2x squared combines with 2x squared. 3x combines with x, and y's squareds go with y squares. Okay, so you see what I did there, right? The x squareds I wrote together, the x's I wrote together, the y's I wrote together. On your test, there's going to be a giant question that's like this big, Chris. It's going to be so big you might even need to turn the page sideways. There's going to be literally probably 15 terms you got to add together. Okay, so not even more than that either. Okay, but whatever it is, if you group them, it's so easier to do them when you're grouping them, right, rather than anything else. All right, Maverick, can you do the x squareds for me, please? What's 2x squared and 2x squared? 4x squared, right? Simple, good. Leah, 3x plus 1x is going to be? 4x. Good. And we're up to Jessica. If I have 4y squareds and I add 2y squareds, then what am I left with? Oh, it's okay. Sorry. Sorry. So he'll help out. 4y squareds and 2y squareds is going to be what?
4y squared is 6.
6y squared, right?
I have a question about the exponent.
Yeah, let me just finish this and then I'll go there. So all we need to do for this, right? Remember our rule was that we did yesterday? If the bases are the same, you just add the coefficients. So 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 4. 1 and then 2 and then 3. Go ahead, Sahil.
Would you ever end up adding the exponents, or would you
No.
just keep them
The only time you add the exponents is if you're multiplying. And we'll do an example like that today where you have to multiply things to make the exponents bigger.
Just keep the exponents like that.
Exactly, right? Because that, just like what we did here is when you add the exponents, right? They can do questions like this. Like our warm would be that.
Can I see my text for a second? I don't know if it's in the right page.
Oh, it's okay. Excuse me, do you have a question?
Yeah, 3x plus x is 4x, so why is it 4?
Because I can't print properly.
Stop it.
Yeah, am I on the wrong page?
Maybe. No, I don't think so.
Is this the right page?
I did a different way.
I did different.
It's 152.
Yeah,
Is this the right page or is this the wrong page?
I don't know, that's what I got from
I
you.
got one.
What page am I doing right now?
159.
Last section ahead? I was wondering how to look at this.
Good thing management's not here.
They are here in fact. You sure those are home from last night?
Yeah,
Well, the part that was 158 was like.
Oh, so it was two. All right, guys. Part was 152 and part was 158. So this is off the wrong page. So the other part was from the right page. So I was on the right page, wrong question. Okay, we'll go to the next section after. I'll do one of the ones for number 8 once I'm done this one. Julia, you have a question here about things?
Yeah, so it's just like 2x minus 2x.
Yes.
What would that be?
Oh, good question. Let's ask. 2x minus 2x. What does 2x minus 2x equal?
X.
No, incorrect.
0.
0. 0x or just 0.
Oh. So would you write
I would write that as just 0. That's right.
That's the like
Yeah. If I were to say, like, if I have to say, what Sahil said, he said it just equals x. That's like if I say 2 bananas minus 2 bananas. I have a banana. Well, no, I have nothing, right? You know what I mean? So that's the thing.
But you still add like the x, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can do 0x will work, and that's fine. I prefer if you didn't, because when you get to grade 10, your teacher will yell at you. I'm sorry, whoever the grade 10 teachers are, okay? Because they'll have questions like this, x3 minus 1. And technically that's the same as x3 plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 1, 0x4, you know what I mean? Like you can put as many things in there as you want, right? But why would you? You know what I mean? So write it like this, because that's all you need. Okay, I'm going to go back to the real number 8 now, and then we'll go. Joel, question.
Did you separate it because it says 4x over 2, or 2 over 4x, and then it says 4x, so did you do that because...
Which part, sorry? I just did here 2x plus 2x is 4x squared, then 3x plus 1x is 4x.
Why would you combine them? There's an exponent?
Right, exactly, because they're different. X squareds and x's can't combine, right? They have to be the same individual base there. Okay? Anybody else before I move on there? Okay, going back to the real number 8 now. The real number 8? Okay, the real number 8. Let's go for the real number 8. Oh, the internet. What's the internet going to think of me, right? I apologize, guys. What happens, I make all my lessons on the weekend, right? So I looked at all this stuff on the weekend, so I can't remember the exact dates. Here we go. Which one should I do? Does it matter? Let's do F. 8F? Let's do 8F. 8F looks something like this. Negative 3U. Oh, here's a good one. Does this look familiar now?
Yeah.
This is looking better. Okay, good. Okay, this is a type of question, but doubly big, Chris, that you will see on your test. It'll be one like this with 10 more terms in it. Okay? Who are we up to? No? 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 Let's just do curve. Oh, sorry, give me that. Copy first. Okay, so we get me started here then. What do we do? Galen, I think we're up to you, I think. I think we're way all the way back to you. Go ahead, what do we do? Okay, so negative 3U, and that's gone into a little check, plus 3U, and that's checked. Good, then I'm going to do my 2, so plus 2, negative 5, negative 3, negative U squared, plus 2U squared. Now, even if you weren't here yesterday, please raise your hand if we're not clear on what happened there. Please ask for it. Okay, so all I did here for this is I just,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you do, I don't, when it goes, could I do like just the whole number, so I can do like 2 plus 5 minus 10 like that you use?
Yeah, that's fine. Generally, when you write things, you want it to be like in descending power, meaning the highest degree numbers first. So you'd really write it as the squareds first and the numbers, sorry, the squareds first, then the U's, then the numbers. That's the way you really write it.
Why?
Because in math, that's just the way they write it, in that degree form, right? So they put the highest variable first and then that's just one of the laws of math. Sorry, do you have a question? Ask what?
I don't really understand how to use. I thought that you would group not like all the U's together.
Yeah, so we did. All I did, I grouped, well, these are U squareds though, right? Like U's and U squareds are different. Because if you think right, like I'm going to use a picture here, okay? Then you guys might have seen this in elementary school, okay? If I were to write here, anyone ever see this where they say that's X? Anyone ever see that, a little block like that?
No.
Well, that's X. That's what an X looks like. That's what an X squared looks like. Okay?
Oh.
Because, right, like there's an X times another X is an X squared. Are those two even close to the same thing? Not at all, right? They're not even close to the same thing. So if you're writing this as your U, there's going to be a U, right? And then that's what a U squared is going to look like. If you're trying to add those two together, it doesn't work out, right? There's no way you can combine those in any way. They're totally different things. Does that somewhat help? Does this look familiar at all? Do you guys do this in elementary?
No.
Okay, that's the way you guys, okay. But that's the logic behind it anyway, right? Like a variable is just like a certain thing. A variable squared is like in 2 dimensions, right? So an x cubed, if I were to draw it, which I can't, since it's facing out of the board towards you, that's what an x cubed is. Don't ever get me into x4. That's when I start to talk about time travel and stuff. I don't want to go there today. Okay. I don't, I'm not kidding. All right, as far as how this is actually going to go, we're just going to add these together now. U minus 3U is 0U. 2 minus 5 is negative 3, minus 3 is negative 6, plus U squared. I'm going to write that as U squared minus 6, and there's my answer. Hopefully. Yes?
How is that 0U when we're adding 3 over?
Good question. Good question. This is the important part here, because this is what gets people. How did that turn to be 0U on the left? Yes? Good. Okay, and you're not the only person. As I was going through people's assignments, people did all sorts of wacky things. Right? That negative 3 is connected to the U. It's not just the 3. It's negative 3. Right? So it's like, when I do this in my head, I always do the positive first. So I do that as 3U minus 3U, which is 0. For the numbers, I do 2 minus 5 minus 3, and then 2U minus U squared. 1, 2.
It doesn't matter what order, because you did it as U squared minus 6. I did negative 6 plus U squared.
Yes. As far as, I will not actually mark you wrong, but I want you to get in the habit. We want to have the highest degree numbers first.
But how is U squared higher than 6? Oh, is it negative 6 or just 6?
No, negative 6. And what was the degree of a number again, going back to last week, earlier this week? What was the degree of a number? Okay, go ahead. The number of the exponent, right? So since there's a squared there, you're gonna wanna write that first, right? John, could you please not do that. Not that I don't trust you, but if you break your neck, your mother will not be happy. Go ahead, yes.
Why'd you get rid of the zero?
Because remember we were saying over here, the question was, hey guys, please. The question was why did I get rid of the 0u? It's just like what we said here, right? 2x minus 2x is 0x, which is just like 0. So you don't need to write it. Okay? If there's a 0 thing there, you don't need to put it in. So it's when I said here x cubed minus 1, remember we said it's like x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x. Like those are technically a part of it, but you don't have to write them in. Okay? If you want to write that as u squared plus 0u minus 6, for right now I'll be okay for this test, but long term I want you to stretch away from that. Okay? Probably I will not force you on the first test to write it in the proper degree. Okay, but you should long term. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
After you, I don't really get how you got the -6 plus
Yeah.
2.
No problem. Okay, so what happened was I just did 2 minus 5, which is -3. And then -3 minus 3 is -6.
Okay.
So just with integers. And then the same as this, negative u squared plus 2u squared. I just did the opposite. I did 2u squared minus 1 is just u squared. Okay, so 2 minus 1. Joel, last one.
Never mind, I got it.
You're good? Who else was next? John, was that you? Anybody else? Now guys, please ask questions. I like this. I want you guys to understand this. What we're doing here is fundamental math that you will need. If you're bored out here, not right now, I apologize. Okay, right? But if you're not, I want you guys to soak this in your brains. What's that? Well, you will not be learning any calculus this year. You will a little bit because we talk about slope, but slope is the main calculus. But you won't be doing what slope. We'll talk about later on. Who's been in science class this year? Who had Miss Tacken? You're gonna love Miss Tacken when we get to slope because she is maybe a master of slope at this point. All right, as if you wouldn't have loved her already though. Okay, I'm going to hit pause here. I'm going to run to number 12 quickly. I want to teach you something today.